Good evening, Valpo. We are back with the next League of Legends game. I know we just got off of a previous one. We are facing against UAE SEA Phantoms. I am Monsieur, your first caster, and joining me in the booth is
I'm Vector, your second caster.
so a little bit. We just finished up the Rocket League stream. A complete wipeout by Valpo on the opposing team. But we're gonna get just talking real quick about the last game, just from the spectator point of view. Valpo did a relatively nice job, but unfortunately they did fall at the end to the Phantoms, and so Valpo will be going into this 0-1, which kind of does seems to be a standard that Valpo is holding, consistent reverse sweeps, so we hope to see another one here today. And with that being said, let's get right into the draft pick. Let's get right into the draft pick for the start of our picking bands.
It looks like something's a little glitched where the icons aren't showing up right away, but bands are uh, Ziggs, Syndra, and Zach for University of Alberta, and Belveth, Vlad, and Yone for Valpo.
With that being said, we see both. I do know that the Yone in particular was relatively big picks, or was a relatively problem from Valpo by UAE, and so we see that Valpo does respond with the ban, and we see the Kaisa with the pick from UAE, and then Valpo responding with a Skarner and Hue.
Skarner looks like a new champion this week. I think that's going to be a new champ coming out from Super Bear, adding some variety to his champion pool.
Skarner can be really good, especially what we've seen kind of in the meta right now are a lot of champions that can create their own terrain, even everything from J4 to Anivia. Um, I know there's other champions that create terrain
Talia.
to Leo, but all those champions that create terrain is genuinely what Skarner really likes to see, and especially with Poppy, whenever you're able to bash them against the terrain, Poppy Skarner is actually not relatively was a really strong pick from both sides.
You see Kane coming out from the Phantoms here. That's kind of an interesting pick. You don't see Kane a lot in organized play.
Kane's definitely one of those. Maybe you know this Vector as like a solo carry, 1v9 type situation, not really an amazing team fighter.
Yeah, definitely solo queue champion usually, but always fun to watch those in these games if they pull it off.
They go crazy.
Spectacle.
And we see the Swain from University of Al- Alberta, and Swain again. We are seeing that it does look like that the Phantoms are going to want to keep up a kind of of a later game again with Swain with that infinite stacking of that health on that Q. And again, Kane once he hits his first power spike or once he hits his form, based on the team right now, what form do you think we're going to see?
Too early to tell, I think. I think you got to see the mid top. I think you got to see everybody before you decide really cuz right now it's two blue champions on the enemy team, but that could definitely change with our support and top laner getting picked. And that's going to be a Tarek ban from Valpo. Yeah, the draft wall is just not working quite right now.
It's ready to be on fall break, just like Valpo will be in the coming days. But for those that don't know, could you explain the transformation that Kane can do? Why people talk about him a little bit differently than most others?
Yeah, so Kane is interesting, and a little bit of the way through the game, he gets the choice to either cast out or accept the demon living inside of him, and he can gain energy towards one of those transformation by attacking enemy champions, and he gets energy for his demonic side. They call that red Kane from attacking melee champions, and energy for his blue side by attacking ranged champions. And I think it looks like they're trying to force him to go blue by picking Three ranged characters here, a ranged support from the law, but I don't know if you know this, but Bard is actually like that's his signature champion, is Bard. So I'm excited to see that he has an opportunity to play Bard tonight.
I was going to say the law's ultimates on Bard have. Well, I think we've seen him in the start of the season when he played it earlier. He turned the entire team fight just from one alt, and it's so powerful. Just that complete stasis for an entire both friends, foes, and towers alike, preventing like big crashes or anything too major from happening. Looking at the final bans, we do see one final one does get is still loading from the Phantoms. We see the Renekton ban and the Gwen ban. More bans going towards the top side, and I'm happy to see the Gwen ban, especially from Valpo, as Gwen can become an absolute monster as soon as she starts getting 2 or 3 items. But we are going to see a Seraphine Camille in the final 2 picks from University of Alberta, which the singing diva as the support, I would say, and then Camille top. I mean, I also wouldn't be surprised to see a Kaisa. I guess is that a Kaisa mid or a Swain
I
mid?
think it's Swain mid.
Okay, I know that Kaisa mid has been having her run recently, and would highly prefer if she didn't have it, but it is what it is. We are going to see Valpo does take the final pick. With the Jax. So this will be a it'll be a very interesting show, the Camille versus Jax. Probably,
And oh,
go ahead.
we actually saw this matchup get played by Dreadful. Was it last week where he was Jackson to Camille? And I think that was a little bit of a struggle, but I think he can learn from his mistakes last week and put changes into practice this week.
That's- So with that being said, both teams are looking, I would say, relative. I was gonna say we're excited for both teams. Obviously, I'm assuming we're going to see that Jakimbo on the Cass, which is going to that the all on Cass is going to be a make or break for a lot of team fights. I wanted to follow back one last time, Vector, though. With the team comp, I know we have to wait to kind of see what the game feels like, but do you think that this is still gonna, is it still out for the bait, or do you think they're leaning towards what way they want the cane to go?
I think Kane wants to be red, but it'll be kind of tricky to get him to be red unless he can consistently get into fights with Super Bear and Dreadful.
Okay. So any lanes that we should be as our normal that we kind of want to take we think we're going to take an early lookout for in the first like 5 minutes of the game.
I'm excited to see this bot lane, the Bard Hui versus Seraphine Kaisa. That's going to be a bot lane with a lot of play potential from both sides. So I think that'll be a good one to watch.
All right. Well, with that being said, we are going to head into a quick break as we get into game two of the Phantoms versus the Beacons, z 1-0, and we will catch you in a few minutes. Alright, Valpo, and we're back with the second game of Valpo versus University of Alberta Phantoms. As we quickly see, we are going to just see a five. We're just going to see a five-man stack. Super Bear does throw the rock on Kane, does find some purchase. And game will again kind of take a little bit of a slower start as it always does as both teams get ready.
Yep. I mean, these games where everybody just 5 points, you don't really see a ton going on here.
Where's our crazy action? Where's Jakimbo 5 pentakill at level 1?
I mean, nobody picked a champion that enables that this game. You need like a hook champ.
I know, but you can still have hope that it'll happen.
I've played Clash enough with the Law to know that if you want to see that happen, he's going to pick Blitzcrank. If he picks Blitzcrank, it's going to happen.
Up and snatch a champion, and the money flows.
His special move in our Clash games, he used to go smite Blitzcrank, and he would stand in river and wait, and he would steal the buff from the enemy jungler. He'd hook it and then smite it.
A great way to force the enemy mid laner or the enemy jungler to start molding.
I heard that they were on Ahri top last game.
That is a true statement. And mid laners don't need to go anywhere else but the mid lane. It's a hot take, I know, but and we are gonna see Alberta does take the level 2 lead. Not being able to find much purchase with it is gonna force DNM and the Law to play a little bit safe once again.
This is when those kind of mage bot lanes are most vulnerable. Is early when the ADC can auto attack you, but you can't really auto attack back. But Dreadful's getting kind of beat up by Camille right now.
But we are going to see the minions. We are going to see the minions turn relatively
fast. The minions clutch that.
But it is really neither one of them. If one of them had ignite, I'm pretty sure that fight would have already been over. But we do see that it does look like Kane was able to steal the Gromp. Actually, two parts of all of Valpo's bot side. So we are going to see Skarner looks for a potential gank on Skarner, and hopefully we're going to see as getting the first potential kill of the game and not finding purchase quite yet.
I'm not sure what happened there. Just did a little drive-by.
He just wave.
Wait, why is Kane so late? Kane has taken
4 camp.
Wait, how is oh, because he went into Valpo's bot side. I see.
Well, we are going to see Jakimbo starting to chunk out the Swain. Dreadful did start to maintain the health lead. But it does look like we could see a potential dive from Skarner coming in here for level 4. And it looks like we might just be getting a proxy, but we're going to see that Kane is here. Sorry to fight.
Oh, he actually got out.
Super Bear is able to get out, barely, but it does start giving Kane some of that red form that we were talking about earlier.
I mean, a fight versus Jax and Skarner is pretty much perfect for Kane to get that red juice. I mean, the Law is doing such a good job managing his mana right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kai'Sa is up on mana. Kai'Sa doesn't really need as much mana. But Seraphine's out. Seraphine is running dry. And Seraphine is all about that mana usage. And they are going to crash an absolutely huge wave bot side. Unfortunately, just a slight bit off timing to be able to maybe look for a dragon with this. That being said, taking a quick look at the CS, as we always do, we do see that Alberta is up slightly in most lanes, top, jungle, mid, and bot. Actually, it's up CS in all of them. We are seeing Super Bear and Kane fighting. Super Bear, I think, does win this, but giving Kane
so
the extra.
too.
Oh, Kane is just gonna commit.
Oh yeah,
Taking,
Super Bear needs to fight him. He needs to. He needs to either commit to. Wait, why does Super Bear have grasp?
but he gives the first blood to Dreadful. And that is good communications from Valpo, as it looks like that Valpo might be responding, especially with the Bard being up in the top lane, for Valpo to go for another void game. We are going to see that Camille does hit level 6 first. Dreadful does have to be careful.
Oh god, the minions. The minions.
Dreadful has to be. Dreadful has to be. Come on, Dreadful.
He's gonna have to flash this, or
Oh,
or ward jump it.
but we are going to see that Superbear
Oh.
does come in and is going to look to continue to chunk. Super does
Uh-oh.
have to be careful. The law is here.
My god, what's going on?
Oh, and
He
he's
left
casting
him some
times.
nice little drinks.
And we are going to see Diadem getting a significant chunk of damage off on the Seraphine. There is that giant wave though that he is going to have to be forced to collect, so it's going to make rubs a little bit harder for Valpo to be able to grab. Diadem is dodging all that stun masterfully, and instead of almost going down, he just is going to lose a little bit of CS.
I mean, that wave that Camille crashed top was massive. I think that was something Dreadful might not have completely accounted for.
But
Was that wave being in the Camille ult, but Kane is kind of feasting on Suver's jungle, up 16 CS currently.
as I say, it's not looking the best for Valpo, but we are going to see Diadem dodging the Swain W. But with so many people being bot lane, this does give Superbear the opportunity to start, almost looks like, to at least get a few grubs and hopefully all 3 for free.
Where's Valpo's gold lead from? Oh, the kill. We have a kill.
Yeah, the first blood on Dreadful was big. However, if you're a Valpo fan, you need to. Super is getting grubs right now, which he does need to do, but that lack of CS is going to really start hurting as soon as Kane is able to get first item. And we are seeing some light words being thrown in the mid wave with Jakimbo trying to find purchase with some Cassio damage. Not being able to fully fight it, but we do see Dreadful charging up a relatively big wave. We are going to see that Camille's ult is up relatively soon, so he does have to be careful. And Diadem does have no summoner spells right now. We see the Kane coming up on Dreadful. Dreadful is going to take the ward hop, though.
He's running because he knows Camille has ultimate. He does not get the stun on either champion, and I think we're going to see Dreadful get taken down here. Oh, he should have just walked backwards.
He should have walked backwards, but there's nothing for Kane to collect, really. Oh, we are going to see the Seraphine. Diadem is trying to stay alive, but he's not able to. The law just doesn't have the ability to keep him alive just enough, and we are going to see with 2 ults being burned by Alberta, it is going to keep them alive. All right. With this being said, you're a Valpo fan. What does Valpo need to do?
Valpo needs to lock in. Stop dying. Oh god. Oh man, I can't believe Kaisa gets out of that.
Kaisa takes no turret aggro, which is absolutely brutal if you're a Valpo fan.
That was such a good setup by Super Rare. It cost the Law's life, and Valpo didn't get anything from it. I mean, this is not looking great so far.
It's not looking great, but the game's not over. We have a bunch of. I think does Valpo outscale this, or does do the Phantoms outscale this?
I mean, both these teams scale very hard. Very hard. I mean, Jax is a really hard scaler. Cassio is a really hard scaler. Swain is an infinite scaler now, correct?
He's an infinite scaler, but also it's plus 12 health for every Swain fragment, so it's not an enormous scale, but technically yes.
Kaisa's a hard scaler. Seraphine's a hard scaler. Huay's is hard scaler. I hardly know what Bard does. Maybe he scales. I don't know.
Bard just does things, and when the Lost Pilot in him,
I think Bard scales in the sense that the champion doesn't necessarily get stronger, but he has so much playmaking ability that late game that can kind of make or break a game right away. So I would say Bard scales, but not in like a numbers sense.
Got it. And more just a play
Yeah, like
play
a
assistant.
playmaking ability. It's like Blitzcrank. That's like my big problem with Blitzcrank is you can miss your hooks literally all game. Oh, well, I'll continue after this. Oh, I guess they're just gonna walk away from each other again. But you can miss your hooks as Blitzcrank all game. But if you hit that one at 40 minutes to kill the enemy carry, you won the game. Which I think is kind of weird. Like, you control as Blitzcrank the entire game, but your playmaking ability is just so high.
We are going to see Super Bear. It does look like we're going to see the flash burn by the Seraphine trying to get out. Swain is ulted. Super is taking damage, and Kane is joining into the fight.
I think Kane's gonna look to beat up Super Bear here for his red form.
We do see the law though here.
Oh, that was a quick kill from Camille under Dreadful's turret, and it looks like she is probably getting out here. Nobody from Valpo's really around to stop it.
Yeah, does look like she's just going to take her gold bonus and back. We do see, though, that there is a potential for a collapse. Super Bear coming in, not full health, but back at full mana with blue buff. I think Valpo might just be looking for a single Void Grub here. But it is turned into a 3v3. Kane is caught out. We are seeing the Seraphine ult hitting Super Bear. Finding purchase. Dreadful and Camille are both back, making this a 4v4. Both ADCs are... An ADC and an APC are both in the bot lane. Diadem does have his enhanced TP if things come to it, but it looks like Valpo is just going to take this with 5 grubs and really no other casualties.
Valpo getting grubs is kind of a nice little silver lining there. 5 grubs. I don't know how we pulled that off here, to be honest, the way this top side looks.
I genuinely think one probably because Kane doesn't have form, but also Camille wasn't there, and so they were able to chunk the two out pretty well. We are going to see that Hextech Dragon is available for someone to take, and I think this is going to... Oh, I'm correct in saying that. I think this is the first dragon of the game. We are going to...
It is the first dragon.
All right, we're going to have to see the flash come out from Dreadful. And it does look like... Is there an easy way to tell? It looked like Kane had form, but I could be wrong.
He does not have form currently.
Okay.
We can check by hovering him, I believe. But it looks like Valpo's looking to start this dragon. Let's check on Kane really quick.
Is it his passive?
Oh, well, it's gone.
It's all good. Let's focus. We got the dragon fight. We got a dragon fight coming up, which...
I think his splash art changes.
Okay, I always forget. Sometimes I haven't seen Kane in many recent games. So.
I know it does. I know it does in game. I don't know if it will for us. But Valpo does take out a dragon, which is honestly,
kind of surprising.
I'm not quite sure how we did that.
I was gonna say I'm always happy to see Valpo taking leads where they could get them, but even being down about 2,300 gold, again, surprised that we were able to not only turn the fight on the Void Grubs, but also take Dragon. Which, again, you're a Valpo fan. Hextech is really good for almost every member of your team. The extra ability haste and
attack speed.
Attack speed might not find as much purchase on as many of Valpo's teams, but the ability haste on Diadem, Jakimbo, and Super Bear all being extremely strong.
Next objective is Rift Herald, which is currently alive. So I'm thinking Valpo might try and capitalize on the Rift Herald here. It looks like Scar... Okay, hold on. Interesting development. Super Bear has his first item, which is Heartsteel. And Kane has purchased Yomu's Ghost Blade as his first item, which kind of leads me to believe that he is going blue? Because that's definitely a blue item.
We are seeing Kane is getting absolutely chunked out. We are seeing the ultimate come out from them. We are seeing the flash. Super Bear is going to go
going
over.
After them.
Super Bear is drifting. We see Jakimbo joining in, and Dreadful is able to get the kill onto the Kane. We see that the double ult comes out from...
Oh, but Valpo's getting so low in this Swain ult. Oh, Diadem with the TP is here trying to shut down this ulting Swain, but I don't know if they can. I think he's like...
Super Bear might be able to pull out Swain enough. where that while Swain, yeah, Swain's just going to get some more damage, but
The law
Swain,
is here. Everybody's here.
they're all here. And we're going to see Swain is getting a lot of alt uptime, but again, Swain, while Swain has Rylai's, he doesn't have the damage. We are going to see that Kai'Sa is going to be able to push this wave in a little bit, but a really prolonged fight, but really good communications from Valpa there. And you are 100% right, Vector. In the profile icons, we do see that we have Red Cane.
That's kind of interesting considering he built Yomu's as his first item. That's usually Blue Kane's item.
Maybe he went on item autopilot.
The other thing that is confusing me is Super Bear having Grasp. You usually don't see Grasp in the jungle. I'm gonna double check if that's the Skarner build.
As I say, I know you as our former resident jungler, you've taught a lot about Super Bear, you've taught a lot to Super Bear in his freshman year, who's now entering his sophomore year. As I say, I'd be
Skarner does take Grasp. That's kind of interesting.
I guess it would make
That's
sense.
I think the first time I've ever seen a jungler where Grasp was their recommended rune.
I guess it would make some amount of sense though, especially if he knew he was going to go Heartsteel.
And if you're spamming ganks, it's fine. Like if you're ganking all the time, it's fine. But
oh, we are seeing Jakimbo is going to have to burn ult.
I mean, he's no, I think he's about to kill somebody. Oh wow, the heal.
But he is going to trade 1 for 1.
Oh, get him.
Super does have ult, but he's not going to be able to find. He's not going to be able to find full purchase on it. We do see the Law is here, trying to look for something. Swain does have his ult up, so Dreadful does have to be careful. But if you're Valpo, you need to bait out the ult. We are going to see the stun go off. Dreadful is not getting hit by the tower. The Law is taking all the tower hits. They're both going to be low, and we're going to see Kai'Sa probably try to take out the Law here. But it's not. Oh, but the stun does get hit by the Kai'Sa here. Dreadful and the Law, you need to be careful about not getting hit. And I would not have jumped over that, as you need to offer Bard a little bit of protection. But Valpo is. We are going to see the TP come out from Diadem in hopes to, I think, further. Never mind, it was Jakimbo throwing it out. And we are going to see that Kai'Sa does have to flash Storm to make it to safety. A really interesting play by Valpo. But again, not one that you're against if you're a fan. We're going to see that the Heartsteel stack is ready to be picked up by Super Bear, but he's opting not to take it right now because he knows it's not 100% safe. But he is going to have to stay to protect the tower. Oh, he does get it. He does get chunked out pretty severely. We see that Dreadful is here to assist. And I think with Dreadful and Camille together, they're just not going to be able to land that stun. Camille's ability to disengage whenever there's a wall nearby is kind of
it's
shocking.
So good. It's such an amazing disengage ability. Being able to go over walls like that, and even through an have you seen her go through an inhibitor?
Yeah, through an inhibitor.
Through inhibs, it's crazy.
Even basically a partial stun most of the time she's able to make. She's able to find something, which always surprises me. But we are going to see Dreadful is going to... Dreadful's... We're 19 minutes in, and Valpo takes the first turret. They're still down almost 2k gold, but Valpo's still able... The Law is going to get caught, slightly caught out here, but it does look like... the Law is going to be able to get out just safely. And now that Kate has stacks, you're not too worried right now about having prolonged fights with him. With that being said, it is right now. It could turn into a 4v4 bot lane. Camille does not have TP, but Dreadful does. We are going to see that Dreadful tries to ult. Dreadful does not find, or the Law does not find purchase, but we see the Super Bear throws out the ult. Diadem also throws out the ult, not finding anything. Camille barriers, but it's not going to be able to find anything as Diadem is able to get the shutdown. Jakimbo is going on the Swain right now, chunking him down pretty severely. With the spacing, Swain does have to pop the ult in order to stay safe. Bok Choy is going to get, we are going to see the Dreadful is just going to go absolutely crazy onto the Camille, and Valpo takes 3 kills.
I mean, this is kind of a dramatic reversal of how the very early game was looking for Valpo. That looked kind of brutal for a little while there. It's just like last week. It kind of rolled game 1, come back game 2, And last week, didn't they kind of completely stop in Game 3? I feel like that's how I remember it.
I I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but we are going to see that Super is going to proxy the wave a little bit as Jakimbo is trying to finish up the rest of the tower. Again, the fact that Valpo has 5 Void Grubs is huge right here, as I think that this is going to be enough for them to get tower. However, it does look like the Phantoms are going to try to get an early Baron, and Valpo just doesn't have any knowledge that they're doing it right now. The Baron's health is getting chunked pretty severely. The Law does know that they're on it. It is currently a 4v3. Cass does not have a way to engage into the fight. Kane is trying to, but it does look like the 3 members of Valpo are going to be able to prevent the Baron from finding purchase. We are going to see the Law does get caught out a little bit, does get killed. But is Alberta going to continue the Baron, or are they going to back at, even with just a loss of the Bard, we're going to see them back off Baron.
I don't think I've seen the Law throw Bartle yet this game.
We've seen it twice. Once in the bot lane, it stunned both the Kai'Sa and him, and then the second time as he was trying to catch the Kai'Sa out in the mid lane for that start of that mid engage.
Got it.
But overall, really, this is a Valpo went from having a pretty negative, pretty harsh early game to pretty much tying it up. Valpo has 2 dragons. They're down 900 gold, but the 2 dragons are worth their weight in stats. We do see that once again, it is Cloud Soul. I feel like a lot of times when we're seeing Valpo winning, it's because of Cloud Soul, or Cloud Soul is the soul that's up when Valpo wins. So maybe if you're a Valpo fan, you got to start cheering on Team Cloud.
Yeah, and we can see that Subaru's Heartsteel only has 93 stacks on it right now. And that's another item I always shied away from building when I was jungle, because you could never guarantee that you'd be able to consistently stack it like you can against a lane opponent. So I don't know. It is the correct build right now, according to like op.gg, but I don't know. I feel like there's something better out there that people aren't playing.
And we are going to see that Super does look like this.
Oh wow, they hate that. They hate that guy.
And Valpo is going to lose Super Bear in kind of a relatively messy engage. But we do see that 2 ults from Alberta that were thrown out. Again, to say that to Valpo's 4, though. Again, not really nice.
And it looks like Dreadful is about to get caught out as well.
There's no way that the Law, or there's no way that anyone's going to save it. It does look like this could be a pretty free Baron for Alberta if Valpo doesn't play their cards right. Again, Cass is super strong, so she could look for another pick or 2. And it doesn't look that is what Valpo is going to do. They are going to try to salvage this by going for a 3v5. We are going to see that the Law does get caught out by the end, and Kane does find the purchase onto the Baron. Jakimbo is going to have to flash out, but Camille does ult in order to get to him. Even Diadem is not going to be able to find his way out, as Alberta takes a 5-way kill, takes 5 kills and Baron from that play.
Yeah, that's rough.
So Valpo decided that the objective there was to just full push, or to just try to salvage, and unfortunately the salvage did not turn out to do much. Again, if Bard has ult and they're all going under the tower, we could look for a Bard extreme counter save. But it does look like the Camille is there trying to find something, not really being able to find much. Super Bear is there starting to proc some Heartsteel stacks, as we were saying earlier, but still just not being able to find too much right now, as
I think Dreadful's about to oh, they didn't go in on him. I was thinking they were going to go in on him and get him again.
Honestly, they probably could have, but it's plays like these that kind of make the Alberta's lead not as strong, as they're not capitalizing on every lead. But again, we talked about it before, they're not in the lead, so they don't have to take they don't have to take as many risks as when you're behind. You have to take some risks in order to get ahead, or play kind of sloppily. We are going to see
Alberta's sitting on about a 5,000 gold lead right now, which isn't anything you don't want to see as an Alberta fan. Not what you want to see as a Valpo fan.
No, but we are going to see, it does look like it is going to be a fight it is going to be a fight for 3rd dragon. Kind of surprising that Valpo's choosing this. We are going to see the Camille looks like she is going to TP in. Valpo does have to be careful. Valpo finding...
Swain's coming from the bot side. Oh, and Valpo gets the dragon stolen, and everyone is just evaporating. The team fight potential from the Phantoms is so strong. And this is going to be disastrous for Valpo's base. Everyone is down. A wave is on the way for the Phantoms.
We are going to
Towers
see
down low. Like, at least an inhib's going down here. But nobody's even respawning for another 10 seconds, and that's our Bard. So we're going to see an inhib go down, and maybe a Nexus turret. I think they could press their luck and get a Nexus.
No, we're gonna see the Bard. We're gonna see the Bard on the tower, trying to prevent it from going down. I would have waited a tiny bit longer, but we are gonna see the Law is just gonna continue to try to save the base. It's not over for Valpo, but we're at nearly an 8,000 gold lead, or 8,000 gold, 8,500 gold deficit, meaning that Valpo has to play this extremely smart if they want to stay in this. With that being said, the next objective is up in 3 minutes, and that is another Baron. The Baron power play is over by University of Alberta, but we are, again, just seeing that it's not even much a CS as it is just kill lead that Valpo gives. We're going to see another tower fall from Valpo, but we are going to see objective bounties are up on Valpo's end. And with Kaisa, we are going to see Kaisa and Kane both have bounties on them. The Law does get ulted,
Wrapped.
and we are gonna see a three-way stun come out from Jakimbo. Jakimbo needs if Jakimbo plays Jakimbo does look like he might be able to get out. Diadem's ult does not find purchase on any members of Alberta. Kane cannot take a Jax right now. And so it looks like Valpo is going to be pressuring the map, but not able to find much tower damage as Kane's enhanced W just has too much wave clear. With that being said, we are seeing Jakimbo have to try to fight against the Camille, not being able to doing a decent chunk of damage. We are seeing that Super is not able to find anything as Valpo's tier 2 bot side turret does fall.
I mean, this is a kind of a slow war of attrition here. Like, Alberta's trying to take what they can get little by little. I mean, if you just get one tower at a time, you're still going to be at the Nexus within a couple towers.
Yeah. Yeah, and the gold gap wide, it's just over 10,000, and at that point, still not over for Valpo, as we've said multiple times, and we've seen crazy plays before, but it's definitely going to make it a lot harder. And no matter what, there's going to be a lot of VOD review for Valpo after this game, trying to figure out what was throwing them off their game. We are going to see Super Bear's Rock does not find purchase. We're going to see Alberta. Alberta is going to look to try to I think, to try to start setting up for a Baron and probably try to end the game here.
Baron would definitely be able to end the game.
If Valpo steals and gets a good sweep, honestly, it could be a reverse game end, especially with how long we were seeing those death timers were on some of the enemy team from before.
I will say Valpo doesn't have any tier 2s taken, so I think a game end off a Baron would be world records pace to take those turrets. But Super Bear is going to get jumped on by Alberta from over the wall, and that's kind of going to put down the steal dream for sure. And
Alberta's going to take their second Baron of the game here.
Yeah, we are going to see that Valpo is going to continue to clear and try to. Valpo's going to continue to clear and try to get as much gold as back as they can. But we are going to see Alberta is going to push a super minion wave down the mid, and with Baron buff, that is going to spell a significant threat that Valpo is going to have to respond to if they do not want to see another one of their Nexus
I think they're going for top first. They're going to take this top inhib And
Yep.
once you have 2 inhibs and super minions down, and that's terminal pretty much.
Yep, you're gonna see Swain continue. Swain has to force Shikimba to stay there, and with 3 members of Alberta pushing top, the Phantoms are gonna very quickly take the tier 2 and inhibitor turret and inhibitor. This we are gonna have a final. It's gonna be a final fight for Valpo to determine what might be a winning fight here. They are backing off slightly, allowing Valpo a tiny bit of breathing space. It does look like they are going for Cloud Soul right now.
That's kind of a greedy play. I mean, I think they probably could have just sieged and won with how their fights have been going.
They could have.
Especially because they're not even doing Dragon. They're taking Gromp. Like, I kind of don't get that.
Yeah, they're...
And they just got an inhib back up. Like, an inhib just respawned in Valpo's base.
Yeah, and so... Well, they do have top pressure. I was going to say... Dreadful is trying to push out the side wave. And I think he realizes that he's pushing it out just enough. And we are going to see the super wave is going to start pushing back on him. But we're looking... Super is trying to find purchase onto Super Rare, but just not being able to find anything. Super is not able to find a good gank as they continue to let the enhanced cannon just slowly cast away at chip away at the tower.
It's really hard to kind of shift a team off that enhanced cannon when they have such good range. Oh, Red Cane goes for a flash knockout but does not find it, and that's going to be all 3 inhibs down for Valpo. That kind of spells disaster for Valpo right now.
As the gold lead goes to about 13,000, we are going to see the teleport coming in from the Swain, trying to look like to end things here. Tower is again taking significant tower damage from cannons. Again, Valpo doesn't have the range to deal with them, and it doesn't look like the Super Bear gets hit. Super Bear gets caught out, and we see the charm.
Here comes Swain with this gigantic damage from his ultimate. That is just crazy.
Dreadful trying to find purchase on an enemy, but unable to find anything as Valpo is going to continue to try to stay in and do damage, but Valpo is just not able to have the damage as Valpo loses 0-2. All right, kind of wrapping up, what did you think about that second game?
That was a hard-fought game. They fought to the end, but there were just a couple slip-ups in the mid-game. They were kind of crawling back from that deficit in the early game, but kind of slipped back when they needed to not slip back the most.
Honestly, I think we could say that the pivotal point was that Baron play. You lost 2. It really wasn't the worst thing ever. They would have gotten Baron, and you needed to look for a place on the other side of the map. But instead, you had Valpo try to salvage the play, and that ulti was able to give them Baron and give them 3 additional kills, which was really what started that snowball for the enemy team, for the Phantoms. With that being said, though, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Valpo will be on fall break this Thursday and Friday, so we will be back to you. Hope we will be back to you next week with our NECC and CLO for League, and then NECC for the other teams. But until then, if you're a Valpo fan, have a safe fall break. And for those of you tuning in who are not Valpo Beacons, we wish you the rest of the week a good one. Thank you
See you
all.
next time.